The year is 2012.
Rewind YouTube style.
Barack Obama wins his second term in the Oval Office. The Pope creates a Twitter. And Gangnam Style takes the world by storm. But not a single one of these events is even coming close to the single most important thing that happened in 2012. And that is the Walt Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. Now, this had come at a point when George thought he should take a little bit of a break from movies and TV at the time, maybe pass the torch of Star Wars on to somebody else. And now, while that decision is extremely controversial, whether he did that right or not, this video isn't to sit down and debate that issue.
We're here to talk about one of the best results of Disney's acquisition. In 2016, Disney broke ground to create a unique Star Wars experience in their theme parks. The park was an entirely new concept for Disney. It was fully immersive, making you feel like every second you were in Star Wars, besides all the time that you were spending your credits, your hard-earned credits. Disney president Bob Iger was so confident in this Star Wars park, he thought it would be a driving reason for fans to attend due to how immersive it was. And then you got to ask yourself, where are the guests traveling to? Are they going to go to the lush sands of Tatooine, or the barren greens of Naboo, or maybe even the bustling town of Coruscant? No, none of those actually. For this experience, we're going to Batuu.
We're going where? Now, for you nematodes who didn't know, Batuu is located on one of the outermost ridges of wild space. Now, this part was extremely discouraged to travel to just because the charts weren't exactly accurate on how to get to most of these planets, and everything else beyond it is the unknown region. That's why no one wanted to even try to go there.
The stories of Batuu are initially introduced to us through reading. So if you're illiterate, guess you don't know what it is. When the park was being constructed, Disney started coming out with a bunch of comics related to Galaxy's Edge. There's a bunch of stories about Han Solo and Chewbacca there in the time of the rebellion. Stories based on why Hondo's there. Our best boy, Hondo Inako at Hondo's Transportation Solutions. During the Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker crosses paths with a Chiss officer named Mithron Yorodo, a.k.a. our best blue boy, Thrawn. In the book Thrawn Alliances, you see Anakin and Thrawn going on this mission. Anakin's trying to find Padme, she's gone missing, and Thrawn is trying to gather information on the galactic war between the Galactic Republic and the Separatists, so the Chiss know if they got a problem on their hands. He's also searching for new technology that towards the end of the book you see is this it's a shield generator that they're going to use to help the Chiss Ascendancy be the police of the galaxy. In the book Black Spire Outpost, you kind of get the lore of the park itself. Leia Organa sends one of her best spies, Vi Marathi, as well as a defected First Order officer, Captain Cardinal, to Batuu in order for Vi to create a resistance base on Batuu. It's remote, it's out of the way. The First Order is never going to look there until the First Order shows up and everything goes to hell.
Fate would have it that their ship crash lands on Batuu, now discovered by new travelers. How will Vi create a movement that's able to stand up to the First Order and establish communication again with Leia about her mission? How should I know? I can't read.
To this point, we have no live action or animated references to Batuu. You have a lot of references to it in the comics, in the books, and in written media. That's pretty much it, other than maybe a name drop.
I've waited my whole life for this.
You ready?
Are you?
Finally, after all the planning and the promotions, the day finally arrives. On August 29th in 2019, Disney expected their largest attendance to date. Annual pass holders were blocked out of the park. Hotels were raised in prices for the influx of attendance. The gateway to Batuu is open, and the crowd goes mild.
I'll give you all just kind of a brief overview of what Disney's numbers were looking like in 2019. It was about 18 million people visiting the park. Now, fast forward to about 2023, and it's still just hitting that number, but at about 17 million now, which is a million less.
We believe that the initial low attendance rate for Batu is due to three things. When Galaxy's Edge opened, it had the interactive environment and only one ride, Smuggler's Run. Besides the one ride, everything else you did in the park, including spending money, which Disney guests were already very conscientious about doing, guests would enter, ride the ride, maybe meander around the cityscape of Batu before leaving. There wasn't much keeping people in the area. Now, we will argue that this has kind of been fixed because Disney added the ride Rise of the Resistance, which is like the coolest thing ever. But they also tried the Star Wars Hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser. And if you've watched Jenny Nicholson's 9-hour review that caused a Disney cease and desist to come her way, you'll kind of understand that didn't work out either.
Besides there not really being that many things to do, we believe another huge point of confusion for fans coming into the park was the setting and the characters. Now, people remember Star Wars for Darth Vader and his stormtroopers, for Luke Skywalker and Leia, for Han and Chewbacca, not Rey Skywalker, yeah, we went there, Kylo Ren, and even Vi. You know, a lot of these people who've grown up with the franchise are going to enter this park and not really have a good understanding of who these people are. And yes, while Disney did choose to create a park for their main demographic, which is children, you also have to think about some of the loyal fans for Star Wars, the people who've been around since the 70s and A New Hope dropped as well. What do you have to offer for them, or what's really going to bring them into this park when you have these characters that are all relatively new? It's already a challenge for me when I dress up as Fives for any 501st related event because I get called a Mandalorian, a Stormtrooper, or a plethora of different things. So this is where we kind of think that maybe Disney should have stuck to a little bit more of fan knowledge on this one.
And lastly, if you recall, there was this really weird thing that happened in like 2019 that like kind of shut the world down for a bit. What was that called? COVID.
That this call by Disney and the other theme parks that followed suit was a $1 billion decision.
At Disney World in Orlando, a last-minute dash to enjoy what's left. At some rides, lines were still long Friday, but elsewhere, clear evidence what was to be a robust spring break is coming to an abrupt end.
Disney had no choice but to completely shut down the parks since they were considered to be non-essential. This worldwide shutdown would also drastically affect their attendance numbers for the next half decade.
Now, although Jacob had already been working for Disney for quite some time, it was at Christmas of 2024 that the rest of my family and I were able to take the journey to Galaxy's Edge for our first time. And holy cow, did it blow us away. I cannot even understate when I say that it was just a thrilling experience to be in Galaxy's Edge for the first time.
For those that don't know, I actually spent the past 6 months as a Disney cast member. So I spent a lot of time at Galaxy's Edge on Batu. When we say that Disney puts you in Star Wars, they absolutely put you in Star Wars. Every detail is accounted for. Even the bathrooms are themed. And I'm not going to spoil any of the rides for you, but if you haven't been on any of them or you haven't had the opportunity to visit Galaxy's Edge yet, they're nuts. They're completely immersive, from being able to fly the Millennium Falcon on Smuggler's Run to rising with the Resistance against the First Order with Rise of the Resistance. These rides are unmatched. And even the theming that the cast members put in to that world is insane. Every cast member, if you don't know, is from a certain part of Batu. Especially if you go to a spot like Oga's Cantina, the bar on Batu, you can ask any of your bartenders where they're from, and they're all from a certain part of Batu. Everyone has their own little backstory. It is a really, really cool just immersive environment to be in. And if you really just let yourself go and forget that you're in the blistering heat of Orlando, Florida, you might just think you're on Batu. And even if you stop to take a bite, there's plenty of food options that also help immerse you into the Star Wars universe. At Docking Bay 7, you can go get yourself some Andorian tip yip with some fried cheese noodles, aka chicken and mac and cheese. But oh my gosh, is it good. When I first got to Bot 2, they had the Andorian tip-yip was like these like cylindrical like meshes of meat put together, and then they just started to fry the fillets of tip-yip, and it was just good, really good. You also catch yourself a Ronto wrap roasters, where they fry your Ronto using a giant pod racing engine, which is really cool detail. But I don't know, that droid's been up there for like going on 5 years, and he's still cooking. I don't think they're ever going to give him a break, but I think Ocean needs to get involved and get this dude down from there for a little bit. Galaxy's Edge in Florida kind of acts like Groundhog Day. Every day is the same thing. The characters on this planet are all kind of living the same day every day. It's in between episode 8 and episode 9, where Rey and the Resistance base is getting found out on Batu. Kylo Ren is there. The First Order's there in full force. They walk the market halls trying to find where the Resistance is. You can help Vi Marati stay safe and away from the Resistance. Her, Chewbacca, and Rey actually help them out to keep them out of trouble. You can also go on missions with Vi and with Rey. All you have to do is ask.
Now, two of my most favorite moments when I was at Galaxy's Edge have to be meeting the Mandalorian and then building my lightsaber. Now, the Mandalorian one was just really, really cool because I know it isn't Dinjo. He pushed me to the front and Mando did his point thing, and I got a photo with him, my brother, and my dad. And it was just a nice, like, fun moment. That was within, like, our first hour of being in the park, I want to say we saw Mando. So that was really cool. And then building our lightsaber was also a really, really awesome experience. I do want to give a shout out to the cast member who's doing the narration for our bit. She was super in character for it, really professional with the lore, like, totally knew what she was talking about. Disney, you need to keep her. I forget her name, so sorry, y'all. But she just made the experience, like, magical. It was so awesome. And then in the final stage, when you all bring up your lightsaber, and it was like, I made that. That was awesome. And by the time that we had made our sabers, the park was already starting to close. There was nobody in Galaxy's Edge. So Jacob and I sprinted over to the Millennium Falcon so we could get some awesome photos of ourselves. And it was just great. I could not have asked for a much better experience at Galaxy's Edge. It was my favorite time ever being at Disney, was just in that one section of the park. Now, the love and care put into this park really makes it feel like it was made by fans for fans. And sure, while you might not be in a familiar setting or with legacy characters you grew up with, isn't the whole point of Star Wars to go on a brand new exciting adventure all of the time? So that's why we want to challenge you to take the risk and go to Galaxy's Edge with your bestest friends, just to have a blast and have your own adventure.
So in conclusion, what do I say? If you're thinking about going to Galaxy's Edge, you should go. For a die-hard Star Wars fan, you're going to love it. You're going to love walking around the market, looking at all the little details. You're going to love interacting with the characters. You're going to love the bar, and you're going to love the rides. They are all next level and just so much fun. And just a reminder for all my friends that are going to go, just remember, credit card debt is temporary, but the memories from Galaxy's Edge are forever. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.